Wednesday, June the 11th, 2025, and today I'm in a county that I haven't walked in previously, as far as I remember, Rutland. This is the village of Whissendine, and this is the White Lion Inn, where I'm currently residing. So no station start today. Nearest station here is Oakham. So as I say, a county I haven't previously walked. I'm about to undertake 12 miles of a walk manufactured by an organisation I haven't used previously as well. On OS Maps, the app. And this is a circular from Market Overton, which is where the walk starts officially. But I'm starting it here at Whissendine, thanks to GPX technology. And like I say, about 11 and a half, 12 miles to do. It's a cracking day, a bit breezy, as it has been over the last few weeks, but nonetheless, mustn't grumble. It's about about 11:45, so let's get cracking, see what awaits. Passing the village church of St. Andrews. Whissendine does have a windmill, as you can see there, which is working, but for some reason it's not included on this walk, which I find a bit odd. There are a number of strange things on this walk which I'll comment on when I get there. So we're now joining the Rutland Round CPRE walk, having come off this quiet lane. And the beauty of Rutland is that many of them are lovely and tranquil. So here we go. I actually walked alongside the road, but I do believe the GPX track shows the path as being the other side of the hedge alongside a field. But as you can see, the exit out of that field here, not very well maintained. So that's not a good start for Rutland County Council's impression on me. Looking back at Whissendine Windmill across the village. And round to the church, St. Andrews. Now I'm stood at a height of around 485 feet, believe it or not. So this is quite a hilly area. They call this county the County of Good Taste, and it's a bit like the Cotswolds without the crowds, which appeals to me. And I haven't noticed many people thus far. Clearly not organic here. Some chemicals being sprayed on this wheat. I can smell it. It's a shame. One of the quirks of this walk is that there's a path here that takes you to Ashwell. Yet the instructions recommend taking the road that I've just come off to Ashwell if you want to shorten the walk by 2.5 miles. I personally would have used this footpath shortcut to shorten that route. Just one of the quirks I've picked up so far. Still with the windmill in sight. You can see that Rutland is a county in this section anyway, of small fields, plenty of hedgerows and lots of cereals. Kind of environment I enjoy. Not too many cattle around either. Plenty of sheep, mind you. Don't know if you can hear, but plenty of skylarks around. So the chemicals are clearly not hindering them. Now passing a field of my favourite cereal, oats. Plenty of chaffinches around in the background on this walk. Very different sort of environment, not so many chiff-chaffs, white throats. Kind of birds I'm familiar with down south. Now on the outskirts of the village of Langham, where there's a park home site I'm going to have a look at. Just for reference. Passing the church of St. Peter and St. Paul, Langham. Information panel about Langham here. Rutland Arts and Heritage Trail. And lo and behold, a white throat is singing in the background, having said I hadn't heard many, or any. I'll give you some idea of where I'm at. 25 mile to Nottingham. To be careful at this juncture, because there's a footpath straight on there through those squeeze gates. A little bit of building work going on here, but our onward journey is through this kissing gate, diagonally northwest. And we're now into bean country. I don't think they're broad beans, might be nitrogen beans. Can't see any broad beans on them. Anyway, bean country. And like Bedfordshire, this county uses yellow-topped marker posts. Just stood alongside the local sewerage works here. Even up here I've noticed the river levels are very low. I did a cycle ride around Rutland Water on Monday. Plenty of water there. But out here in the countryside the levels are quite low. And talking of water, this is a county that is currently consulting on fluoridation. That is absolutely bad news and should not be allowed to happen. Fluoridating the water supply just because a few people can't be bothered to clean their teeth affects the masses and has serious health effects on women and men. So we don't want that happening. Mayor Khan in London is also consulting on it at the moment, believe it or not. Absolutely shocking. That is an assault on the liberties of every man and woman and child in the country. Don't let it happen. A bit of quiet lane walking, and as you can see, even up here they cut the verges back, leaving a slither next to the hedge. Don't get it. I've said this for many years, particularly on these quiet lanes. What are they? It's not health and safety, it's just destroying the wildlife. There's so few cars up here, I don't see what health and safety difference it makes. And in any case, it has a slowing effect on the traffic if it is present. Signs of ash dieback up here as well. It's kind of gone out the news recently, but still about. The tree version of COVID, which is also still about, apparently. First bit of litter I've encountered since I've been up here. So this is where the footpath shortcut to the walk I suggested earlier would bring you to, rather than following the lane that they refer to in the text. This would seem a more pleasant option, albeit a tad longer, not much, and it brings you out onto the lane that I'm presently walking to Ashwell Road. Freight train on the Birmingham to Stansted line via Oakham, Melton Mowbray, Cambridge. Waiting here at this level crossing, you have to call the signalman to lift the barriers apparently. Never encountered this before. So me and a cyclist waiting for the barriers to lift before we can cross. Approaching the church at Ashwell, similarly named to the one in Hertfordshire. Don't know the name of it at the moment, but I'll get it in the Lich Gate, hopefully. Yep, bang on cue, 20 to 2. Memorial cross here, with unusually more dying in the Second World War, or no, usual story. More dying in the First Great War than the Second World War. Typical pattern that. Mary's it is, and what an amazing Lich Gate, very high. You have to clamber up these steps to get in. Passing the old Methodist chapel, primitive Methodists, now our residence. And for sale by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't mind sheep, as long as they don't give me ticks. That's the problem when you're walking around them. Beware ticks. No wonder they're seeking shade in those hot coats. Not sure why they haven't been shorn yet. Poor things. You can see how dry it is. Ground's cracking already. And another bird I mentioned earlier that I hadn't heard yet, the old chiff-chaff. With a blackbird as well. Single board crossing here. There's a biplane flying around up there, and that's the first jet noise I've heard in 3 days. Another wonderful bonus about this county. Crossing over a former rail line here, on the map as a dismantled railway. Unsure which one, mind. Always sad to see these, I feel. The hard work, labour and man hours that went into building the things. A little bit of modernity there. Wonder if that's chickens. Battery. Certainly got wind and solar to operate it with, which is fine on a small scale like that, so it should be. Pretty much kissing gates all the way so far. No stiles yet, which is good. and basically should be the case because the council tax up here is horrendous. As expensive as anywhere in the southeast. So the highways department can afford to change the styles, that's for sure. And 37 acres of grassland for sale here. Below me, no sooner said than done. First style of the day to my knowledge. Can't remember getting over another one. So as soon as I got over the stile, the path was blocked by fallen blackthorn. Absolutely impossible to pass. So you then have to do a slight right out of the hedge and into a field strip, which brings me to the point where I am now, back on track, just about to cross over another footbridge and soon be in Market Overton for lunch. Ahead there. So that should be about halfway round, I think. Views back to whence I've come. Wind's picking up. Further views back as we ascend into Market Overton. Docks here in Market Overton. Very twee little place, very Cotswoldian. Information panel about the village. Google that if you wish to learn more. Very decent thatched cottages. Appropriately called Stocks Cottage. The old village sign, erected in 2012. There's a village stores next to the old post office, which is now an Airbnb by the looks of it. Those shops are behind the Black Bull Country Inn and Kitchen. Very twee it is as well. Going into St. Peter and St. Paul again for lunch. Below's yet another different style of architecture. Back of the church you've got this rather dirty seat covered in bird droppings, but I think it's the only one in the churchyard from what I've seen, so this might have to do. Placing the old copper roof lining, which had corroded, with some form of stainless steel which deters thieves. Apparently, good idea. Found a cleaner one, walked straight past it on the way in loving memory of Wendy Williamson. No dates, but a much cleaner seat. Thanks, Wendy. This is almost 6 miles in, so around halfway, as I thought. So 3:45, lunch has been had, and on we go. Interesting conversation had with the roofers as well, so all's good. It's clouded over a bit, but it's still quite muggy, around 23-4 degrees at the moment. Thankfully the breeze is coming from the east, so that's welcome. We're now passing the wharf, and believe it or not, this used to be warehousing for the old canal that ran from Melton Mowbray to Oakham. It was originally built to, or designed to, run from Leicester to Stamford, but those sections never got completed. So the only bit that actually operated was from Melton to Oakham, and even that had issues. It was either drying out or leaking. So when it was built in the late 1700s, it was quickly superseded by the railway in the 1840s, I believe it was. And here you have the cottages, wharf cottages. All these little reminders of what used to be. A lot of the canal is now silted up and no longer visible, but some parts of it are, and we may see those on this section. There's another quirk with this walk. This public bridleway would ultimately lead us to the same place that we're going to end up by walking along this road, which is thus far the busiest road I've encountered in Rutland. Quite a lot of traffic on it for the area, but I will continue with the GPX track along the road. But yeah, personally I would have taken this bridleway and gone to exactly the same place. Cuts the corner off basically. Do not see the point of this section of road walking, because it's not showing you any of the canal bed or anything like that. I would have taken that bridleway. Now that bridleway would have brought me out here on this bend corner. So like I say, because it's quite a busy road for Rutland, could have cut that out. So this road, as you can see, from Teigh or Teigh back to Overton, Market Overton, is like a ring road. I've noticed it seems to be the ring road for Rutland, for those that don't want to go through the middle. It's quite busy, so unfortunately there's no way of doing it off-road either, so you have to bear with it. There is a section, as I mentioned earlier, that could be cut out of this road walking, but otherwise there's a fair bit. Now finally come off the road, walk down Moor Lane here, past Manor Farm. Several sheep have escaped out of their field here. Currently on a long section of byway walking, Teigh Lane, or Teigh Lane, which is part of the Rutland Round again that we started on earlier. Back over the rail line again. There's a phone here as well. But I won't use it. Looking down towards Ashwell, where I was earlier. Bit late, Sonny Jim, with your crowing. So that was Teigh or Teigh Gatehouse. There is a path to my left here, marked by that scorched corn. Which would also go back to Whissendine, but the GPX track takes this route along the track. So there you have it, September to February, shooting. Well, well, well. First pillbox that I've seen up here. Rather remote. I wonder what it was protecting. Wouldn't have been the canal for sure, because that had long since finished. Interesting. Now on the edge of Whissendine. Don't recall having seen one of these before. Next track continues along this lane into Whissendine, but I'm going to take this shortcut across this field towards the church, because that's towards the way I need to be, rather than the way of continuing the walk if I'd started in Market Overton. And once again the windmill comes into view. And below me we come into a field of cows. Almost home. These are young bullocks actually. It's a church again. Down this lane towards that thatch. Quite a friendly bullock, that one. Interesting old pump here. Didn't notice that on the way up. Notice the date. Just outside Whissendine Village Hall, which was previously a memorial hall, as you can see there. Lovely goldfinch in the background singing. So it's now 5:30. I think I started this walk about 11:30. So 6 hours in total. Not sure exactly how many miles I've done, so I'm going to go by what it says on the leaflet, and that's about 11.5, 12. And a very decent walk that was for my first Rutland walking experience. The walk was actually written up by the Great Outdoors on the OS app. There's a group called the Great Outdoors that I haven't come across before, but they've actually, from what I have since discovered, taken the walk from Hansen. Hansen are a minerals group. They build aggregates and dig quarries, and they've got one in Ketton in Rutland, and as their payback they've written up a few walks apparently, so that was one of theirs. Very decent it was. Lots of cereal fields, some quirky aspects to the route as well. It obviously wasn't written by a walker, I don't think, because there are other things there, you know, some obvious paths that should have been taken that weren't. There's too much road walking in places, and as I say, not a great deal of variety. Lots of cereal fields, field edge walking, but nonetheless we had cracking weather. I think it reached 25 in the end, which is fantastic. But I believe business as usual tomorrow, with a few showers due, which is why I rushed out and did the walk today. So until the next time, take care.